So here we are going to learn the complete air conditioning and ventilation system design calculation. Okay. So here what we are going to learn. I'm going to just explain to you so that you will have some idea what you will learn at the end of the course. Okay. Now we are going to talk about introduction about air conditioning and ventilation system. This particular part already we have completed in our previous section. Okay, as a basics of air conditioning. Okay, like we will talk about what is the convection, what is conduction, what is radiation. Okay, then we will talk about sensible load, latent load. Okay, then we will talk about psychometric charts like dry bulb temperature, wet bulb temperature, like various properties of the air. Okay, dew point temperature, humidity ratio, specific volume, density, then atmospheric pressure, saturated vapor pressure, then partial vapor pressure. So these are the things we will talk about in the introduction. Okay, then I will be talking about architectural package. So before we start with any of the project, okay, as a owner, he have a bare land, right, as a plot. Okay, so he want to start with one of the residential project or commercial project. So there we start with architectural space planning. Okay, so there is a guideline based on local regulations, or whenever you go to any of the country, there is a local regulation for the architectural space planning. Okay, so you have to follow the architectural space planning to comply with the minimum spacing for the human comfort. Okay, say for example, there is a bedroom, there is a toilet, kitchen area, okay, and there is a corridor, then there are staircases. Okay, everything should comply with the architectural requirement. Okay, so that we will study inside the architectural package. Okay, also there is a MEP requirement. Say for example, you require multiple shafts, right, to run your MEP services. Then there are plant rooms, electrical plant room, mechanical plant room, firefighting plant room, water plant room. So these are all the things we will talk about in the architectural package. How the architectural consultant will do the space planning based on all requirements, complying with all the requirements, including local requirement, client requirement. Okay, and if there is any value engineering, authority approvals, everything he will comply when he prepare the architectural guideline. Okay, architectural packages. Okay, then after that we will talk about codes and standards. Okay, say for example, if you are working with local country, say for example UAE or Saudi Arabia or India. Okay, there is a each and every country having a local codes and international standards, right? Say for example, we have HVAC, we have extracted from ASHRAE. Okay, so if you talk about local codes, we have a Dubai Municipality Code, okay, which is called SAFAT regulations, or you can say green building regulations. Then we have a civil defense regulations, right? Then we have a NFPA 92, we have ASHRAE. Okay, we have a many international standards. So whenever you design the project, you will comply with the local regulations, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that is one of the requirement. Okay, then when we start with our air conditioning part, so you have architecture and everything is ready. Okay, you will start with the calculations. Say for example, you will start with air conditioning calculation. Okay, in the air conditioning calculation, you can able to calculate the capacity of the equipment such as FCU or AHU as per local regulations. Clear, right? Okay,
Yes.
so this when you do the calculation here based on the HAP load calculation, heat load calculations, you can able to find out all the heat, which is sensible heat and the latent heat. Okay, so when you have a summation of sensible heat plus the latent heat is the total heat inside the building. Clear, right? So you are going to when you know what is the heat inside, then you can able to calculate your cooling equipments. Clear, right? So that is what we are going to start today in the HAP calculations. Okay, and when you talk about fresh air calculation, say for example, you have a building. In the building, you have air conditioning, so that will be keep recycle, right? Recirculation.
Yeah.
Okay, but what will happen to maintain indoor air quality or to remove the moisture from the space or to remove stale air, which is polluted air inside the space? What we are going to do? We are going to exchange the air fresh air. So you are going to add the fresh air and you are going to remove the exhaust air. So how we are going to calculate the fresh air capacity? If you talk about FHU, there is a schedule, right? In the FHU schedule, you find out normally fresh air capacity, exhaust air capacity. Then after that, what is the tonnage requirement? Okay, what is the airflow rate? What is the chilled water on coil temperature, off coil temperature? Okay, and what is the airflow rate? Air coil on coil temperature, off coil temperature. Then whatever the airflow rate. So these are the things you will find out in the fresh air calculation. We will calculate based on ASHRAE standard, right? Then after that, you have a AC equipment calculation for server room. If you have any of the building, okay, you have a server room where, say for example, you have a multiple internet services provider, okay, or you have a, say for example, CCTV, okay. So these all you will provide whatever you have a switches from that ELV switches. that will be installed in the server rooms, and also there is a mini computers or multiple computers which is supporting your emergency sources like a CCTV or fire alarm or firefighting, whatever the sources. Okay, so there is a backup server room which it will be operated. Okay, you can say, for example, there is a BMS room. It is also part of server room. Okay, there are multiple monitors. Everything will be there, right? Okay, so this particular server room, how you are going to calculate AC equipment? There are certain standard. Even I'm in data center consultant, so I know that how to design the server based on what is the temperature and how to calculate AC equipment, everything. So we can discuss. Clear, right? Okay. Then after that, you can see any of the project. Okay, you have two sources. One is the transformer. The power comes from transformer or the power comes from generator. Clear, right?
Yes.
Okay. So when there is a generator works, okay, the generator will dissipate a heat. So how to remove the heat? How to ventilate that heat? So we will do the generator ventilation calculation so that we can install the fan and we can remove all the excess heat from the generator rooms. Okay.
Yes.
And if you talk about transformer ventilation, during the normal power, your transformer will transfer the power from high voltage to low voltage, right? So when the transformer works, it's a equipment that also dissipate a heat, right? So how to calculate transformer ventilation based on local regulations, right? There is UAE electricity regulations, or even as per ASHRAE, we can able to calculate. Okay. And then say, for example, you have a battery rooms, okay, so which you will have a backup for your CCTV, okay, or fire alarm. You require a battery room for the energy backup, right? Okay, say for example there is a power failure. Okay, so when there is a power failure, when there is a transformation from ATS, you have a ATS, there is a power will transform from normal power to the generator power. Okay, during that failure scenario, okay, there is a 2 minutes, 3 minutes gap which you cannot able to, you're supposed to not to switch off any of the critical equipments such as CCTV rooms, okay, CCTV, whatever CCTV controls, right, fire alarm controls, or you have server rooms, that you should not suppose not to switch off any of the critical equipments. Okay, so during that time your battery room will perform. Okay, and your battery can give you the backup energy to perform between the transformer to generator power. Okay, so how to calculate battery room ventilation? Because battery room ventilation is for two sources. One, there is a heat dissipation from the battery, and also when there is a battery perform, that time there will be release of hydrogen gases. Okay, so that hydrogen gases, how to remove, how to ventilate based on some standard, right? So based on that, if we have an equation, so we will calculate our battery room ventilation fan capacity. Clear, right? Okay, then we have a kitchen ventilation. Okay, say for example you have a commercial kitchen. Okay, in the commercial kitchen you have a you're doing heavy cooking. Okay, if it is a small pantry, then you can do the fresh air or exhaust air based on ASHRAE. But if you are heavy cooking, then depends upon the type of cooking, you can able to prepare the ventilation calculation. Okay, how much heat, excess heat inside the kitchen, that heat should be removed from the kitchen spaces so that you're giving human comfort to the people, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so how to calculate the kitchen ventilation fan, that we will calculate based on DW 172 standard. Clear? Okay, then we require sometime heater, sometime humidifier, okay, for the humidification and dehumidification purpose, right? Okay, so that we will see the we will calculate how to calculate heater sizing, and based on humidification sizing, we will do the calculation on how many types we can able to see it. Then finally we will able to see the duct sizing calculation. Say for example, this much equipments, like we have FCU, AHU, we have a FHU, ERV, fans, then we have a different generator ventilation fan, transformer ventilation fan. So here and all we calculate the equipment capacity. Okay, now for any of the equipment, okay, you require two parameters. One is the fan airflow rate, and another one is the static pressure to calculate to select the fan, right? So here duct sizing selection, we will calculate ASHRAE based on ASHRAE duct design. We can able to calculate the static pressure. Like there are if you talk about static pressure, you have a static pressure plus velocity pressure. Summation of both pressure will be the total ESP calculation, right? So this we will calculate based on ASHRAE so that you can able to select the fan. Okay, then once you've done all the calculations, then we have a HVAC equipment and a accessory selection we can prepare. Clear, right? And it will go in multiple stages like a concept design, schematic design, detailed design, tender package, IFC package. When you work with a consultant, you're already with a consultant. When the design team they work, we have a different stages, right? Okay, so so finally it will come as IFC package. Okay, so the IFC package will have a clear approval from client, value engineering if anything required, authority approvals, or tender from the market if there is any comment from contractor. So you will include everything and then you will release as a clear package. This is called IFC package. Clear, right? Okay, so
Yes.
that is this is the about introduction, and I have already covered for all the people architectural design and some basics of introduction. But anyway, I can cover it with you in the next session. Okay.